If you're a regular viewer of this channel, then you'll know that I've already switched all of my Ring cameras over to Reolink. But before I discovered Reolink, I actually tested out a couple of Eufy products. This is the Eufy Indoor Cam S350 and the Eufy S380 HomeBase. I've had them since March last year and I keep forgetting to review them, so here goes. Let's take a look. Let's start by looking at the camera, because this is quite a clever little thing. It looks like a little robot head with two eyes, and because it's a pan-tilt camera, that little robot head can follow you around the room. Those robot eyes are actually two separate cameras. One is a 4K wide-angle lens, the other is a 2K telephoto lens, which gives you 3 times optical zoom. In the app, you can switch between the two lenses by tapping the zoom option. The image quality is pretty good, and the infrared night vision clarity is especially impressive. I purchased this camera specifically to go in my garage to keep an eye on things in there, and I can pick out loads of detail in there. But probably the most impressive feature of this camera is just how responsive the AI motion tracking is. That little robot head will lock onto you and follow you around the room. The motor noise from it is so quiet too, so unless it's totally silent, then you probably won't even realise it's moving. It supports dual band Wi-Fi 6, can be mounted upside down, has preset positions, and you can store video footage on a micro SD card inside the camera with no need for a cloud subscription, although you can pay for a cloud subscription plan if you'd prefer. So I bought this camera in a bundle with the HomeBase. Now the HomeBase is basically a consumer version of an NVR. It's a clever little box that stores all of your video footage centrally. So if you have multiple cameras, then you don't need to worry about putting an SD card inside each one. You just connect them to your HomeBase and that stores all of your camera footage locally with no subscription needed. If someone comes along and steals a camera, then the footage is safe and secure on your HomeBase. The HomeBase includes 16 GB of storage built in, but honestly that's no good for anything more than setting it up and testing it. You'll need to buy yourself a separate 2.5-inch SATA drive and install that inside the HomeBase, and you'll then be able to get multiple terabytes of space and enable 24/7 continuous recording. If we compare it to the competition, it's a lot more compact than the Reolink Home Hub, for example, and the Reolink Hub only supports micro SD cards. You can't put a hard drive in that, but it is considerably cheaper. Reolink do also make a Home Hub Pro, which has a built-in hard drive, but that is slightly more expensive than the Eufy HomeBase, but don't forget, it includes a hard drive, so overall it works out slightly cheaper. So this is not a sponsored video. It's important I tell you this. I went out and purchased both Eufy products with two intentions. Firstly, I wanted to replace a very old Foscam camera that was in my garage, and secondly, I wanted to evaluate the Eufy ecosystem to see if it was up to scratch to replace my Ring cameras. Now unfortunately it failed one of my first tests terribly. I used to use a Home Assistant automation to pan the camera around to the garage door whenever it opened and then pan it back around again when it closed, but the Home Assistant integration for Eufy cameras is a bit of a hassle. You first install an add-on called Eufy Security WS, and I'll put a link to that in the description for you. This add-on basically logs into your Eufy Security account and accesses all of your devices through the cloud. But it will log you out of the app on your phone, so you have to create a second user account with a different email address and share your devices from your main account with the second account. Then you log into the add-on with the second account. Then you have to install the Eufy Security integration using HACS, which will pull in all of your cameras as devices. You end up with a lot of sensors and controls, which will work reasonably well in automations. But firstly, this is cloud only, so if your internet connection goes down, then any automations relying on this add-on will also stop working. And the second big issue I have is you can't control the pan or tilt of a camera, or even tell it to move to a particular preset, so it's totally useless for me personally. I get that I'm an edge use case here, but still I was personally a bit disappointed. And those two things are the main reasons why I went with Reolink in the end. Local control in Home Assistant, and I can select a pan tilt preset. But there is one feature which Eufy has that Reolink doesn't. Now, a few weeks ago I put out a video on how to get Reolink cameras and doorbells working with Apple HomeKit. Let's be honest here, it's a bit of a hack. Eufy, on the other hand, supports this natively. The catch is you do need to use the HomeBase, but once you have that all up and running, you can just open up its settings in the app and add it to HomeKit through there. If you've got a suitable iCloud subscription, then you can take advantage of HomeKit's secure video storage too. On the basic 50 gig plan, you're allowed to add one camera, but the 2 terabyte plan lets you add unlimited cameras. If you don't need local Home Assistant control, then Eufy is a pretty good option. I know a couple of people who have gone with Eufy cameras all around and they're very pleased with them. I have also heard a few stories of failing cameras too, but I hear that about all brands, to be honest, even Reolink. The app is reasonably easy to use too. The quality of the products seems good so far, but obviously I haven't chosen them personally because they didn't quite meet my own needs. They do have a really great range of products though, including some really awesome looking ones with built-in solar panels that I'd love to try out at some point. Anyway, I'll put some product links down in the description in case you want to take a look. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, then please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel too, so as you can see more from me. A massive thank you to these people here for supporting the channel as members. If you'd like early access to my videos and a few other perks, then check out the link down in the description for details on how to join. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.